Hello, and welcome to another Learning is Change CarCast, where I get to talk to you from the dashboard of my car while I keep my hands on the wheel, or at least one of them, and look forward so I can keep some semblance of safety. My name is Ben Wilkoff, and today I would like to talk about Colorado COedchat, which is something that the Colorado Department of Education is organizing to be once a month on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock. And it is something that, I think is the first time that I've really ever seen a Department of Education, a statewide Department of Ed, organize an COedchat. And I think that's one of the reasons why I'm so intrigued by it, is that it is sort of more typically a grassroots kind of deal, and it's fine that it's not. Like, I'm really interested and engaged with the idea that that folks who really are working on policy or who are working on things that really will matter to a large swath of folks, that they are involved in creating these kinds of opportunities. But I'm intrigued by this idea of who owns the conversation. How is it going to work? It's really engaging, the concept that we would have a statewide conversation on Twitter that is specific to a particular topic, but that is also an ongoing conversation. So it's happening, once a month, but then using the hashtag throughout the rest of the month for a lot of other purposes. So I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of possibilities that I see. So one possibility that I was sort of immediately worried about when I saw that it was happening is that, oh my goodness, there are only going to be a few people engaging in this COedchat, and it will sort of exist for a couple of months and then totally go away. And so I immediately started inviting folks, and if you've already, seen on Twitter when I was sort of sending out to some Colorado folks, to me that is a worry, right? Like I want conversations like this not only to exist, but to continue to exist, and to sort of increase momentum. So that was the first thing that I thought of. The second thing that I thought of was the way in which it's currently structured, is that people are asking questions on Twitter, but that there are somehow experts, and the moderators are experts in the field, and the topic is next generation learning, and really thinking about learning environments, which is a great topic, but the idea that there are somehow experts, and that the moderators of the Colorado Legacy Foundation and the Department of Ed, that is where the expertise is going to come from. So I think, to me, those it's a couple of degrees off of where I think a lot of COedchats go. While I'm super excited that those folks are engaged, I think that the expertise is actually going to come from the practitioners and the folks that are teaching in classrooms or leading schools. And so I'm really interested in, how do we make sure that the conversation sort of stays with that the expertise is not just coming from essentially those folks, that the questions are coming from I think in one way it's kind of set up that the questions are coming from all of the practitioners and leaders, and then the answers are going to come from CDE or the Legacy Foundation. And I don't think it was intentional that that's the case, but I want to make sure that that is not the way in which it is organized. I want to make sure that we are both providing questions and probing and continuing to drive the conversation deeper, but that we're also answering and providing resources from the field, from within districts and things like that, right? So that is sort of number two, right? That's the second thing that I thought of. And then the third thing that I keep on thinking about is somehow this Colorado identity. We have one in theory. We have a Colorado identity of educators. Lots of ideas around choice. Lots of ideas around really trying to innovate. And I'd like to see what that is. I'd like to actually continue to build upon that. And I think about, Innovative Education Colorado, the conference up in the summer, and sort of what is the year-long conversation that's going to be happening. And so I see Colorado EdChat as a part of that ongoing conversation, and how do we tap into that as an EdCo, and how do we sort of help that to sort of keep on going, right? So I'm really engaged with the concept of Colorado EdChat. The first one, the inaugural, is on February 24th, which is next Tuesday at 4 o'clock Mountain Time. And those of you who are watching that are not in Colorado, I encourage you to venture in and to participate, and to help show Colorado how it's done. But those of you who are in Colorado, I think there's a huge opportunity here. I think we can create a sustainable conversation that is something that we could share, and we could keep as the essentially the ongoing back channel of education in Colorado, because it doesn't exist right now. That back channel is so fractured and fragmented that it really doesn't exist. And I think it may take something like this to help bring all of those conversations together. And that's my hope. So my hope is that you join us, and that we all continue to sort of build the capacity for our learning here, and that we really create some opportunities for one another. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Tuesday or before.